Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to Outshot Logic. I know it's been a minute, life happens, but it's time to address something today, man. I mean, again, a third attempt on the president's life, allegedly. So then I look into the story and I see where he's an educated guy from California. He's biracial at the base. He may be multiracial, but he's got kinky hair and melanated skin. So, in my view, he black. He attended the No Kings rally, all this stuff, had a manifesto, and we don't know how real that manifesto is yet. But maybe we'll see, or maybe they'll bury it. I don't know. I hear what happens. There's shots outside the ballroom. They detained the guy, got him down, neutralized the threat. So as I put this together, I see the video. And I see where this guy runs through the little courthouse metal detector, whatever the fuck they had sitting up there. And I'm thinking first, how did he get past that? For him to run through that checkpoint like Barry Sanders. And in the process, fire shots, shoot a Secret Service agent in his vest while guns were drawn behind him when he went through the checkpoint and not get killed? In what world would that happen? And knowing what the tone of this administration is, how can a nigga make an attempt on the president's life knowing it's a suicide mission and live to tell about it and not be Swiss cheesed up? In Butler, you shot a dude from almost 200 yards away on a roof and killed him. You didn't worry about detaining his ass. I'm not military background or none of that, but I graduated from the University of Common Sense. How did the U.S. government not know the name, birthday, social security number, social media of anybody that was a resident in that hotel at that time? And this dude, from what I've gathered, he doesn't seem to be a radical leftist, full-blown socialist, or telltale things that you would think. So that being said, I believe this guy was paid to do this. And when you got a group of billionaires running the country, why wouldn't they? Trump could pay him out of his own money. They could pay him out of the taxpayers' money, which is probably what they did. I wouldn't put it past them. I wouldn't put it past them at all. Look at the character of these people. Did you see where Stephen Miller was using his pregnant wife as a shield? Did you see that? Did you see Kash Patel sitting there cowering in the chair, trying to hold his poop in? Did you see all that? These are the type of people that's running shit. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't rule out incompetence when it comes to security. Hell, the girl that they was clowning on in Butler for not being able to draw her gun and not being on point was a guard at the damn metal detector at this event. Ain't it wild for an administration that preaches toxic masculinity and has fired woman after woman after woman after woman? How's she going to keep her job? You put Pam Bondi's picture in a trash can and posted it online for the world to see. And you mean to tell me that this Secret Service agent that underperformed, under pressure, under the first assassination attempt, gets to keep her job up to this point to be present for
another one?
Come on, man. Now, I can't sit here and say that there's no possible way that a liberal could have done this. I'm not going to sit here and say that he couldn't have done this on his own. But all the details I mentioned in terms of his preparation, his arrival, his shiftiness. I mean, who's this nigga, Jason Statham? How the fuck are you even in the vicinity? I would like to see the ballistics report to see where they dug the bullets out of the wall at. All I heard was like 5 shots. Which one of those 5 shots went into the officer? The first shot, the second, the third, the fourth? Which one hit him? These are the questions we need to be asking. I'd be willing to bet a puddle of pigeon's piss on the rooftop that those shots hit nowhere near the walls. I would not be surprised if this all shakes out that this was a hoax and it was a setup and this guy got paid. It was probably on the taxpayer's dollar to act out this theater. And the agreement is that he had to represent a far left ideology so that they can further push their narrative that the Democrats are the ones that are behind all this, that are behind all 3 attempts, meaning Butler, the golf course, and now this. There's no telling what this administration what lengths they'll go to push their narrative and to protect their tough man persona. I believe it's all staged because they couldn't stand the fact that they couldn't get a liberal to fucking lose his mind. They could not stand the fact that they couldn't get a black person or Latino or a far left trans or even a far left white male, Charlie Kirk as well. They wanted so bad for it to be a marginalized person. So they had to create a situation where a liberal lost his mind. Because they couldn't get an average show, it wouldn't work that way. I mean, they want to make it somewhat believable. I know that they're going to have all kinds of different spins on it and all kinds of stuff like this. The one thing this administration is transparent about is playing in our faces, not giving a fuck. That's what they're transparent about. They ain't transparent about the Epstein files. They ain't transparent about ICE and how they treat the detainees. They haven't been transparent about that at all. But what they are transparent about is when they do something and know that you, the public, see through it and don't give a fuck that you see through it. And it ain't about conspiracy. It's about common sense. None of this makes sense. Why would a person of color, if he's educated, as he is, and if he stands for liberal causes, which he does, he would understand that the worst thing that could happen in this whole resistance is for somebody from the left to engage in political violence upon any politician, let alone the top ones. You notice it hasn't happened all this time. He decides to go to a White House Correspondents' Dinner that he's been ducking through both terms. And this is the time that a black liberal is able to coordinate a plan and get within feet of killing the president, or at least harming the president and other members of the cabinet. This was the time after Marjorie Taylor Greene, just not even 2 weeks ago, called them out about their lack of transparency and the other assassination attempts, and then here goes another one.
Some of y'all may look at this and say, well, why didn't they just kill him? Because they could have spun the narrative any way they wanted to and made him look like any way they wanted to if they would have killed him. So maybe the $1 million question is, why did they keep him alive?
It's not that they think that the American people are that stupid. They run everything now. They can manipulate the courts. They can disobey the courts. They can manipulate the law. They can disobey the law. Who's going to fight? Hakeem Jeffries? Chuck Schumer? Colonel Sanders? No, none of them's going to fight. Because they can't. Because they're afraid of political retaliation and political violence because they gave them all the power. So they can basically do whatever the hell they want. I have no doubt in my mind that there is something behind this that we may not find out until he's out of office. We may not find out until after he's passed away. We may not find out for years what truly went on here. This is the world we live in, y'all. This is what we're up against. I'm just saying, this society has gotten to a point to where we are willfully dumb. There's willful stupidity in the world right now. Stupidity is cool now. Critical thinking is unpopular. People are so fucking shallow anymore. Go online and I want you to spend 15 minutes scrolling through Facebook or Instagram and look at any topic that may, be debatable or controversial. And I want you to look at the simplicity of the answers that people give. When you have somebody come into the comments that's speaking with intelligence, what do? They go to insult and ghost because they can't stand a response that is logical, something that makes sense, because they don't want to hear that. They want to hear what's in their little fantasy land. And if you say anything that deviates from that little one-liner in their head that they believe defines the whole world, well, then they get pissed off at you and they insult you and all that. You know what I'm talking about because you see it every day. You see stupid-ass people in the comments saying stupid-ass shit, and it's become the norm now. And the only way we're going to get past this is we're going to have to start looking at the truth that's in front of us and stop lying to ourselves and stop fronting and stop trying to carry on something, some ideology or some belief of how things are, or carry on some belief in certain people just to save face because we don't want to admit that, hey, I didn't see it. I made a mistake. It's easy for people to be that way when they've got people running the country that don't believe in accountability. You got a president who says he's never wrong on anything. He never apologizes for anything. He never does anything wrong, and his followers see him the same way. When you put the word of a man of the flesh over the word of the God you claim to serve, you're in a cult. It's that simple. That's why we're here.